Pixar came onto our radar screen in about 1995 as we were researching The Disney Way, our first book. And we watched this rather obscure Northern California studio rise from what began as what would seem to be just a technical subcontractor to Disney to virtually replacing Disney Animation in the early 2000s, and then being purchased by the Disney Corporation in 2006 for a cool $7.4 billion. You know, if you were to visit their studios, it looks more like a playground than it does a professional studio. You may see people riding around on scooters like I rode in on, playing pinball or playing foosball, or swimming in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So what makes this wacky place so successful? I mean, their 14 productions have all been blockbuster hits. They've grossed over $500 million on average and cost less than $1 million or $100 million and a quarter to make. They've been nominated for 25 Academy Awards, winning 12. You know, when I first started researching the Pixar organization, I felt like the Claude Rains character in Casablanca was always going around saying, you know, round up the usual suspects. And that's what I did at first, you know, looking at training and leadership. And yes, indeed, all these usual suspects do contribute to Pixar's success. But something was missing. What was the true essence, the headwater, the big bang of their creativity? And suddenly it dawned on us. The key to catching the lightning in a bottle that they always do is looking at the world through the eyes of a child. And this is how the key to Pixar's success. And as director Pete Docter says in this quote here, you know, the making of Toy Story just seemed like an extension of school. They were just making a film for them and their friends to enjoy. Walt was once asked what the secret to his success was. And he said he didn't know how much of a secret it was, but before he would start any new project, he would think of 4 things. He would dream of ways of doing business that have never been done before. He would test those dreams against his beliefs and values in his organization. He would dare to take the risk to make those dreams come true. And lastly, he put plans together so those dreams do become a reality. Those 4 principles are alive and well at Pixar. To dream like a child, to believe in your playmates, to dare to jump in the water and make waves, and do unleash your childlike potential. It all starts with a dream. And remember when we were children, you know, the truth lived in our imagination. You know, we could be anything. We could be the superhero, the princess, the knight in shining armor. But soon parents and teachers and bosses, you know, chase that little child right out of our minds. But those childhood dreams are resilient, and they remain in the deepest caverns of our minds. But Ed said he learned some valuable lessons from that experience, and he didn't want to have to go through this fire drill again. And one of the lessons he learned, that he put together what he calls a brain trust. And whenever a director has a problem with a production, before it gets to be so large as it did in Toy Story 2, they should call together a brain trust. It's made up of the other directors and anybody else that director feels could contribute to the story. And the story is presented, whether it be storyboards or film reels or whatever. It's presented to the group, and then the group gives their comments on what they liked and what they didn't like. But the key to the brain trust is that there are no mandatory notes. There are no corporate directives. You need to fix this scene and come back to us next week and see how it looks. It's up to the director and his or her team to decide what to do with that input. Second thing is quality is the best. You know, John's creative expertise has often been compared to that of Walt's creative expertise in storytelling. And I think if Walt were to come back today, he'd be proud of the of the company that he inspired and be proud that that company now is part of the Disney organization. But few people know of Ed Catmull and his leadership abilities, and I don't think anyone but myself has compared his leadership role to that of Walt's. But without their leadership, these great Pixar stories and Disney stories would never be told. Ed said, I really want to make movies that touch people and make a difference. Otherwise, what are we doing here? So remember, dream like a child. Believe in your playmates. It's all about collaboration. Dare to jump in the water and make waves. Try something wacky. Don't be afraid to fail, but learn from those failures. And do unleash your childlike potential and magic.